So is there a perfect ship? In the merchant marine and in any job working on the sea, you will come across a variety of different working conditions. Working on a ship is not a necessarily easy place to live and lay your head at night. It's not crazy or anything, but every ship is different. Not every ship is built the same. When you look at a container ship, it's very different than a fishing vessel. You look at a yacht, working on a yacht, it's very different than working on a dredge ship. The ocean is filled with ships and many job opportunities. If there is any type of interest in you to work on the sea, the opportunity is there. But just getting on a ship doesn't mean you're going to be in the perfect situation that you want to be in. You have to find the perfect ship so you can have the perfect life at sea that you want. I've went through many different ships and kind of dialed into what I think is the perfect type of ship. Now, it doesn't get very specific with the type of ship itself, like what kind of cargo or the job of the ship, but the type of lifestyle that I want on a ship, the type of pay that I get, the type of port time that I get. Realistic aspects, though. Of course, everyone wants to get on a ship that's paying $10,000 a month and that's in port for a week at a time. But the reality of that is just sometimes it just isn't true. There are ships that you can go in and out of port in less than a day. There are ships that are paying $4,000 to $5,000 a month, which is still good, but it's not the best ship out there. There are ships that certainly pay more than that. There are some ships that have very poor living conditions. But in this video, I'm going to go over all the best aspects that I collected from every ship that I've been on, put them together, and give you an answer what I think is the best type of ship, in my opinion. I work in the merchant marine. These are cargo vessels that travel around the world. And if that sounds interesting to you, join my community, Sailors Connect. If you dream of working on the water, getting away from the normal 9 to 5 cubicle lifestyle, and you want to work on the sea, go on an amazing adventure, that sounds interesting to you, join my community, Sailors Connect, where me, myself, and mariners all over the world come together, help each other out. That sounds interesting. Check it out. Link in description. So like I said before, not every ship is the same. It's just a reality of it. I've been on ships where you go into port, you're so excited, you've been at sea for 12 days crossing the Atlantic, and you pull into port only to be there for 3 hours. And that is honestly, to me, fucking terrible. Because the whole reason I got into this industry was for the adventure, for the travel, to see these amazing places and get paid to do it. And I love the fucking ocean, so I get to travel on it every single day. But going into port and leaving a couple hours later, just to travel across the sea for another 12 days, is annoying. That's not what I wanted. So, to find the perfect ship, you gotta know the types of ships and how their routes usually are. So like a container ship, they have a quick turnover rate in and out of port pretty quickly. Not all ships are the same. Maybe you can get out, maybe a lot more containers, a lot more cargo, so maybe you can get out and have some time. But a lot of those ships are in and out the same day. So I found ships that have longer port times are better. Some ships that I found that have longer port times were something as a bulk carrier, a heavy lift ship, a cable ship, and occasionally, very occasionally, a tanker. Tankers vary greatly. You can have a coastwise tanker that is in and out of port daily, going all up and down the coast. Or you can have a good tanker that's big and discharges all their cargo, and it takes about 24 to 48 hours, and you get to go spend a day in port, or 2, or 3 even. So a specific ship that I was on that I found was a great tanker that gave me everything that I wanted from that ship was a tanker, but it was a tramp ship. Tramp ship is a ship that doesn't have a set route. It takes contracts and bids from various companies who want their product and who want to use them to deliver their product. So on this ship, I would go from the United States to Europe, then down to Central America, then to the Caribbean, then up to Canada, then back over to Belgium. I was all over the place, and it was awesome. And the good thing about this ship, specifically, and a tramp ship, a lot of these tramp ships, sometimes it takes time for these bids and these contracts to get set. So you can be sitting in port for 4 to 5 days. I sat in the Caribbean for 3 days. I sat in Spain for 3 days. I was in Canada for 2 weeks. England for a few days. It was awesome. I actually went out in every single country that I went to. I think I went to, 12 countries on that specific ship, and I got to go out every single one. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, that is not always completely common. Lots of these tankers, like I said, are in and out, quick rotations. But don't let anybody tell you that there isn't a possibility of you getting on a ship and being able to go out and have an adventure. That is just bullshit. You are able to go out. How do mariners go out and come up with these awesome stories if you were never able to go out? I have some of the craziest stories of my entire life being a merchant mariner and just spending my off time in these other countries. So yeah, the opportunity is there. You have the availability to explore these places. Maybe not on every single ship, but on the perfect ship that stays in port for long periods of time, like the ones I have been on, and the ones that I seek out to stay on, I enjoyed myself and had a great time in every port I've been to. The next one, of course, what everyone's thinking about, finances. You need to make sure that this ship that you're getting on is financially what you want out of a job. Maybe you're coming into this industry and you don't necessarily care about the travel. You just want to make the freaking money. And that's understandable. I wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't money. Of course, I would just be traveling on my own time. But I get paid to travel, so it's a perfect combination. Now, I seek jobs that pay a certain amount. It doesn't need to be the best ship in the world. It just needs to be a certain amount so I get enough money out of the job. I don't want to go away for 4 months and have an awesome experience, but come back and still barely have any money. As in port, you might spend a little money. And there are some ships, I avoid these ships, but I hear about these ships often, or some ships paying, no exaggeration, half of what I was making on that certain ship. I had a friend of mine working on a ship. He was making literally half the amount I was making, doing the exact same job as an able-bodied sailor. Now, when you sign up for a ship, usually you get to see how much your pay is going to be over that time period. Union, company, federal, MSC, NOAA, whatever it is, you usually know how much you're getting paid. So that is something you can control when you're working on the water. You're working for a yacht company, you're working for a fishing boat. Of course, you're going to sign up to these jobs knowing how much you're going to get paid. Of course. So, on my perfect ship, I need to be getting paid a certain amount. And that certain amount is $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Anything below that range of pay for me as an able-bodied seaman, anything below that isn't really catching my interest. Maybe if it was a crazy awesome freaking ship and I took a little bit of a pay cut, maybe like 7,000, it's still a little less than I would like. But if it was a ship going all over the place, all these amazing places I haven't been, I would take it for a short period of time. For my perfect ship, $8,000 to $10,000 a month as an able-bodied seaman is the way to go. Now, have I had interest in research vessels? Yes. Do they pay a little less? Yes. Am I still going to do it? Fuck yeah, because they're awesome. And I'm going to do it. At some point. So the next thing to consider when looking for your perfect ship, and what I look for in a perfect ship, are the living conditions. Now, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to living conditions. I've never had serious complaints about any of the ships that I've been on. I've been on really nice ships, and I've been on good ships, but not nearly as nice as a really nice ship. So, a couple things that I tends to irk me a little bit, or would push away from my perfect ship, is to sharing a room isn't the biggest deal in the world. It's not. I've shared rooms before, and it's really not that bad. But on my perfect ship, I want a room to myself. I want to be able to go into my room, take my stinky ass boots off, get completely naked, and just relax in the bed after I shower. But that would be perfect ideal moment for my room, all to myself, get to enjoy it. Some nice space, I don't need anything crazy. Just enjoy for me. Now, on a perfect ship when it comes to the house, my gosh, I only have one example. I have one example of what the inside of a perfect ship looks like, and this is it. Period. I have nothing else I can possibly even say or imagine. This is the perfect case scenario. That was on a Roro car carrier. Love that. Love that time period. It was a great time. But it doesn't get much better than that. Every ship I've been on has been very plain, ordinary ships. Everything's blank. It's just fine. No complaints. Nothing bad about it. It's just fine. But that right there, that is the perfect living condition on my ship that I would pick. Perfect. Next thing that kind of goes along with this would be the food. Of course. Food should be good. Of course. I've had good cooks. I've had bad cooks. In a perfect ship, on a perfect world, in Dean's world, he has a good cook who's very nice, serves food with the SA. SA, chief cook, chief stew, all working together, playing music, smiles on their face, having a great time, serving amazing food. Very simple. I don't ask too much of them. I just want you guys to be happy and serve food, because that is what keeps the morale of the most important part of a perfect ship. And that is keeping the crew happy. And if all this sounds interesting to you, and you want to work with me directly, meet mariners from all over the world and join my community, Sailors Connected, link in the description. And for the next thing, the most important thing, honestly, that keeps me going in this industry, keeps me happy on the ship, is the crew that I work with. I want a crew that I can be friends with. I want a crew that I can laugh with and get down and dirty and work my ass off and get all sweaty. And then at the end of it, we're still smiling. That is a perfect crew. I've had crews like that. I've had plenty of crews like that. Great people. And on my perfect ship, I have a crew just like that. At the end of the day, we all hang out, play ping pong, basketball, hockey, whatever it is. Hanging out, watching movies. We have movie nights once a week, all hanging out in the mess. It's just a grand old time. Everyone's making each other happy. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's laughing. That is a perfect ship. That's how you have a perfect ship. The crew is how you have a perfect ship. Knowing mariners all over the world coming together in one place, just enjoying their life out at sea. That is what it's all about. That's what makes me happy. I want people to live amazing lives out on the sea and think that it's not the only way to work in an office. That is not the only path to life, is to work in a building every day, seeing the same shit. You have the opportunity to work out on the sea and enjoy the beautiful world that we live in. Some people talk down on this industry and say bad things about it. Of course, there are bad things. Everything that is good, there is bad. And I've talked about plenty of the bad things on this channel. But I'm here to say you can find your perfect ship. You can find your perfect life out on sea. If it's on a cargo ship, if it's on a yacht, if it's on a fishing vessel, if it's on a dredge ship, an OSV ship, a ferry, your own sailboat working, whatever it is, mariners come in all shapes and sizes, and the opportunity is there to live an amazing life out on the sea. I hope to see you out there. When I do, sail on.